How are you guys doing? I hope you all well and healthy. On previous video, I had explained the theory and concept of ABC as well as traditional costing method. This video will show you on how to apply that concept. As shown, this question is taken from past final exam. It carries a total of 19 marks, so please focus, and make sure you guys understand it. Siner Enterprise produces inkjet and laser printer, with a selling price per unit of Rm150 and Rm350, respectively. You may pause the video for further read and understand statement given. Okay, first question. Using traditional method, calculate predetermined overhead rate for each printer. As we had learnt, predetermined overhead rate is equals to total overhead in ringgit, divided by direct labor hour. So, we need to find total overhead and total direct labor hour. We can see from the question, as per highlighted, total overhead cost can be found at this column of table, and total direct labor hour information can be found here, which are 15,000 hours for inkjet and 10,000 hours for laser printer. Rm 400,000 plus Rm 250,000 plus Rm 400,000 equals Rm 1,050,000. As for total direct labor hour is 15,000 hour plus 10,000 hour equals 25,000 hour. So, predetermined overhead rate is Rm 1,050,000 divided by 25,000 hour equals Rm 42 per labor hour. Second question, calculate overhead cost per unit for both printer using traditional overhead allocation method. Formula for overhead cost per unit is overhead rate times labor hour per unit. We already calculated overhead rate as per question 1, which is Rm42, and we need to find labor hour per unit for both printer. As per highlighted in red, total hour for manufacture inkjet and laser printer is 15,000 and 10,000 hours respectively. As per highlighted in blue, total inkjet and laser printer unit manufactured by company is 12,000 and 4,000 unit, respectively. Hence, labor hour per unit for inkjet is 15,000 divided by 12,000 unit equals 1.25 hours per unit, while labor hour per unit for laser printer is 10,000 hour divided by 4,000 unit equals 2.5 hours per unit. Therefore, overhead cost per unit for inkjet printer is overhead rate times labor hour per unit equals Rm42 times 1.25 hours equals Rm52 and 50 cent. And overhead cost per unit for laser printer is overhead rate times labor hour per unit equals Rm42 times 2.5 hours equals Rm105. Okay, third question is, calculate product cost per unit for each printer using traditional overhead allocation method. Formula to calculate product cost per unit is direct cost per unit plus overhead cost per unit. We already calculated overhead cost per unit, and we need to find direct cost per unit for each printer. As per highlighted, direct material cost and direct labor cost for inkjet printer is Rm 540,000 and Rm 600,000, respectively. So, direct material cost per unit for inkjet is Rm 540,000 divided by total unit manufactured, which is 12,000 unit, equals Rm 45. Direct labor cost for inkjet is Rm 600,000 divided by 12,000 unit, equals Rm 50. So, product cost per unit for inkjet is total direct cost per unit plus overhead equals Rm 45 plus Rm 50 plus Rm 52 and 50 cent equals Rm 147 and 50 cent. Using the same method, we will calculate product cost per unit for laser printer. For laser printer, direct material cost and direct labor cost is Rm 320,000 and Rm 400,000, respectively. So, direct material cost per unit for laser is Rm 320,000 divided by total unit manufactured, which is 4,000 unit, equals Rm 80. Direct labor cost for laser printer is Rm 400,000 divided by 4,000 unit, equals Rm 100. So, product cost per unit for laser printer is total direct cost per unit plus overhead equals Rm 80 plus Rm 100 plus Rm 105 equals Rm 285. Okay, we move to fourth question. Calculate cost driver rate for each activity using ABC overhead allocation method. Formula for cost driver rate is overhead cost per activity in ringgit divided by total cost driver per activity. From the question, there are 3 activity: production run, quality inspection, and packaging and shipping, and we can see from the table provided, total cost driver per activity, as per highlighted. So, cost driver rate for production run is Rm 400,000 divided by 50, equals Rm 8,000 per production run. Cost driver rate for quality inspection is Rm 250,000 divided by 4,000, equals Rm 62.50 cent per inspection hour. Cost driver rate for packaging and shipping is Rm 400,000 divided by 16,000, equals Rm 25 per unit shipped. Okay, next question is, calculate overhead cost per unit for both printers using ABC overhead allocation method. Formula for overhead cost per unit is total overhead divided by total unit. We have the information of total unit manufactured for each printers, 12,000 for inkjet, and 4,000 unit for laser. Now, to find total overhead, we need to calculate overhead cost for each activity, and for each printer. We first begin with inkjet printer. For production run, the overhead cost is cost driver rate from question 4, which is Rm 8,000, times 40. 40 is the value taken from table provided, as per highlighted. So, Rm 8,000 times 40 equals Rm 320,000. Using the same method, we calculated for quality inspection and packaging and shipping activity. So, total overhead is Rm 320,000 plus Rm 75,000 plus Rm 300,000 equals Rm 695,000. Overhead cost per unit for inkjet is Rm 695,000 divided by 12,000 unit, equals Rm 57.92 cent. Repeat the same method, we calculate for laser printer. So, overhead cost per unit for laser printer is Rm 355,000 divided by 4,000 unit equals Rm 88.75 cent. Next question is, using ABC overhead allocation method, calculate product cost per unit for each printer. Formula to calculate product cost per unit is direct cost per unit plus overhead cost per unit. We already calculate overhead cost per unit, and we need to find direct cost per unit for each printer. For inkjet, as per highlighted, direct material cost and direct labor cost is Rm 540,000 and Rm 600,000, respectively. So, direct material cost per unit for inkjet is Rm 540,000 divided by total unit manufactured, which is 12,000 unit, equals Rm 45. Direct labor cost for inkjet is Rm 600,000 divided by 12,000 unit, equals Rm 50. So, product cost per unit for inkjet is total direct cost per unit plus overhead, equals Rm 45 plus Rm 50 plus Rm 57.92 cent, equals Rm 152.92 cent. Using the same method, we will calculate product cost per unit for laser printer. For laser printer, direct material cost per unit is Rm 320,000 divided by total unit manufactured, which is 4,000 unit, equals Rm 80. Direct labor cost for laser printer is Rm 400,000 divided by 4,000 unit, equals Rm 100. So, product cost per unit for laser printer is total direct cost per unit plus overhead, equals Rm 80 plus Rm 100 plus Rm 88.75 cent, equals Rm 268.75 cent. Last question, calculate the profit per unit for each product using the traditional costing and activity-based costing approaches. Comment on the differences between the results of the two approaches. So, students recommending to use table for proper comparison and visualization. Table shown for each printer, and each costing method, selling price, cost per unit and profit. Based on calculation above, application of traditional method shows that inkjet is under costing, while laser is over costing. As such, the company had set wrong pricing policy, which indicate that application of ABC method would cause inkjet selling prices lower than its cost. Noted, the traditional method is inaccurate and outdated as compared to ABC method. Thank you guys. That is all for topic 4. Head to my next video topic 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe.